Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with Christopher LaPrath. My name's Kenan, his son and the producer of the show. Now, tonight's title, I particularly care for this one. It's Who is With You? And there's a lot of amazing things to be said about that, which Christopher will share with you. But at first, quick piece of housekeeping first. For anyone who's out there joining us for the very first time, be sure to say something in the chat so we know you're here. The first time, of course, it's always free, but going forward after that, it's $10 per reading, or you can pay $100 and cover every single show of the month. Now, again, be sure to say something, because if you don't say something, there's no way for me to know you're here. So, quick piece of just a thought before I turn it over to Christopher here. And this is something I learned at age 18, and I'm extremely grateful for it. It's been one of the more helpful pieces of advice that I think I've gotten in my life, and it's very simple. It's that anytime a potentially malicious or unhelpful voice comes in, or really just anytime, I feel like it's a great exercise to ask the question, who is this man, or who is this person? Who is this voice speaking in my mind right now? And, identifying it, most of the time, as we say very frequently, there are all sorts of forces coming at us all the time. In modern society, it's sensory overload if we let it go there. So, bringing it back to the breath and remembering to ask questions like, who is this man? Or, where am I? What's going on? These very grounding questions help to bring us back home. So that's all I've got to say about that. Thanks for listening to me here. Sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of the show. Here's Christopher.
Hey, happy, great Sunday to all of you. Great blessings to you. I light the incense for you to know that you are never alone. And this goes out for you to receive your requests, even above and beyond what you're asking for. Because the universe, if you want to call God, higher self, however you term it, has your best interests always in mind. So this is knowing that you're not alone, that things are working out just as they should. So great blessings to you. My advice, just let go. Because that subject for tonight that Kenan and I came up with is, who is with you? Number one, when you get these thoughts in your head, and I had a fantastic reading today with Marilyn and Abby, private reading, and it's a matter of taking a look at, wait a minute, I think that's a really good question. Who is this person? When you get this thought, when you get this voice in your head, we'll call it a thought. Wait a minute, who is this person? Who is this man? Who is this woman? Because where is that coming from? Whose voice is that? Is that your mother's voice? Your grandfather's voice? Your father's voice? A sibling voice? A school teacher's voice? A coworker's voice? And then where is your voice? Whoa. Who is this person? And it helps you identify that. But then it also goes into the group card for tonight. And as soon as Kenan comes back, we'll be able to have the group card. I think he ran in the other room for a moment. So just take my word for it. The group card tonight it's called, I'll have to tip it down. It's called the Order of Melchizedek. and it means it's embraced by light. You want to put the group card on?
It's up right now.
Oh, okay, there it is. Sorry. Okay, there's the group card. Now you can all see it. It's called the Order of Melchizedek, embraced by light. We are light. Anywhere that you think you're simply just a physical being, and only that, are you able to expand a little bit more of the understanding of that. This is your mission is uncovered, and never give up. So the king of Melchizedek was mentioned in the Bible. It's the term means king of righteousness, and he's one of the only high priests that are really mentioned in the Bible. But it's not just in the Bible. He's mentioned in the Dead Sea Scrolls, many types of different Kabbalah texts, Kabbalistic texts. So every one of you that have dedicated themselves to walking this path of light is on the path of Melchizedek. And if you want to, in your own time, you can read Psalm 110. It's the 110th Psalm, and you can actually do a little bit of research on that as to maybe even who Melchizedek is. But more along this line is you're not alone. So who is with you? So when I do this show, or when I do a private reading, and when I pull a card for you, the way my brain works is, I think I told you all that when I went and literally had my brain examined, the doctor said, "How much LSD do you take every day?" Well, I've never taken LSD, right? I don't do drugs. I barely have a glass of wine. But so it's a sensation that I'm used to. And in the private readings that I'm giving, like for instance, Marilyn Pitts, you were telling me today, because you had your private reading as well, and you've shared this on the show, so I'm not sharing any private information, but in fact, a couple of readings ago, that rainbow card came up, and then you actually mentioned in the chat that when you meditate, you see many different colors. So every one of our spiritual experiences are different. If you and I were to go on a path together, just in the woods, we would really be pointing things out to each other. Oh, gosh, look at that flower. Oh, did you see that tree? Wow, look at over here. Look at the view from this point. Do you see that mountain up there? Oh, look, there's a hawk. We're going to see different things. And so this is acknowledging your path, and that on this path, you're walking with many high frequency beings. So I know you've all seen television, but have you seen television waves? I know you've listened to the radio, but have you seen radio waves? You see the result of radio waves. You see the result of television, but you don't actually see what's causing it. So you lose your car keys. Can't find your car keys. There's possibly a high frequency being that you can't see moving your car keys, because you're not supposed to leave at that time. It's trusting. It's absolutely trusting that you're surrounded when you ask yourself, who's with me? You may not be able to see them. Maybe some of you can. But is seeing them better than feeling them? Is feeling them better than hearing them? Is hearing them better than sensing on whatever level? No. Because your path is different than mine. So, this is absolutely knowing that you're being directed. And so I'm going to ask you a question. Do you give permission for your energy to be upgraded by light and to light so that we can become even a greater purpose or fulfill our greater purpose for ourselves, for our families, and for the world? There you go. So, who is with you? You might even want to close your eyes and take a look at who do you sense around you. You may not know their names. Many of our guides remain anonymous. They don't have to be they don't have to be your mother who's passed. It could be. Could be your great grandfather that you may never ever have met. Because many of us that go to work, right? If you go to work, they may call you Mr. Klettlinger instead of John, right? Or Laurel. But at work, they may call you Miss Duran. It doesn't mean that you're a different person, but you're called differently. So I'm not going to get into this. It's truly on the other side that we may identify ourselves as they, them.
That's good.
Oh, okay. But I think you guys get my meaning. Because we just get glimpses of this other side. We may just get glimpses or impressions of who is with us. But know that we're not alone. Okay, we've got Miss Pitts with us today. Okay.
That's who's with us.
What's that?
That's who's with you. Right.
Okay. All right. So Marilyn, first of all, look up if you would, I highly recommend you look up the metaphysical meaning or the spiritual meaning. If you just Google spiritual meaning of pearls. And all of us can do that maybe right now just to take a look at it, because I know I'm doing this card is for Marilyn, but this is the knowledge card. Okay, so I went to this seminar one time, and the facilitator spent the morning going over very, very basic information. And I pulled them aside after the morning and I said, was that basic information? They go, oh yeah, this is very basic information. Because most people, when they start on this spiritual path, have like a 0.005% level of capability of understanding. And you've experienced this before. So Marilyn, when I went to China, lived there for many years, and then came back, and I was relating these experiences to people here in the United States, and you could just literally see their eyes glaze over. And they're like, oh, okay, oh, gosh, I got to go. Because they simply couldn't relate. So that taught me that even another experience here on this planet, a lot of people have a 0.005 capability of understanding it or relating to it. So much more with spiritual experiences. So this card is a great thing is when you get a download, when you get a spiritual aha, call me or contact somebody on the show and talk to them about it. Because they're going to appreciate your pearl. And I've talked about this before. Be free of throwing your pearls before swine. That's another biblical term. And again, it doesn't mean that pigs are wrong or bad. It's just pigs don't understand pearls. Nor do they appreciate them. And you want to be aware of your energy in being free of trying to convince anyone or anything of a certain way of being. Or even your aha. But find people, like, think about, okay, who is with me? Well, you can text me. You know, or someone on the show. They're with you. They get you. So it's not just who is with me, you know, in your head, or who is with me in the spirit realm. It's like, who is with me? Who's your tribe? And this is your tribe building. Okay.
Lindsay says she's not sure how they them is funny from the introduction, talking about when people pass away.
When you pass away, Lindsay, it's you understand your connection to the universe a lot better. But here on the physical term, on the physical realm, there's all this. We're raised with this separation. And we may understand ourselves as physical, but we can also be very spiritual, but we don't necessarily get that until we begin to really progress in the spiritual understanding. So, on the other side, they're much more connected in a spiritual sense. Okay.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
Next is Sonia.
Hey, Sonia, thank you for being here. So, Sonia, I don't like vacuuming. And it's not that I don't mind vacuuming. It's just that I don't like to, when the cord gets too short or you run out of cord, you have to go and unplug it and plug it back in at another location. That's the thing I don't like about vacuuming, is relocating the plug-in. So, or if you have too many things running, it can blow circuits in the house, right? If you have too much on one circuitry, too much loaded on one circuitry. This is what's moving off for you this year is, metaphorically, you're going to save a whole lot on your electric bill. Number one, because you have been plugged into too many things at one time. And it can have been overwhelming. This is you unplugging and relocating and plugging back in. And this is the power card. So you realize that you're going to have more power without using so many wattage hours. So you have more power, but your bill isn't as high. You're not paying as much. And I'm speaking spiritually, right? Where you this is regaining your power. So anywhere where you have overextended your power, anywhere where you have, it's like your neighbor coming over and going, "Hey, Sonia, can I use your plug-in to vacuum my house?" You know, "Oh, can I use your plug-in to, I don't know, mow my lawn?" What would you say to that? No, right? So this is spiritually going, no. Well, you're not a very nice person if you're not letting me come over and plug my plug into your electricity to mow my lawn. That's not very nice of you. I know this sounds ridiculous, but people do this all the time. They will say yes when they actually have, where they have no wattage hours, like they're maxed. This is you being maxed, totally done being maxed. So anywhere where any of us are plugging in or overextending, it's okay to unplug and plug back into a greater, happier location. Okay. So we have got Abby Maryland.
Yeah.
So Marilyn, the moon card is the psychic card. And it's very obviously, like, it's not as harsh as sunlight. It is it's very it's very revealing, but in a much softer light. So, if any of you have read Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, there's an avatar, a master named Babaji. And Babaji was on this mountain with his tribe, his people, and they were performing, spiritual works. And this man had climbed for days to get up to this mountain and to find he'd been looking for years for Babaji. And he goes, I want to join your group. And so Babaji says, okay, go throw yourself off that cliff, and then you can join us. The guy looks at him and goes over to the cliff and jumps. Babaji tells his people, go down and pick up the body. They bring the body back up, and Babaji resurrects him, and this gentleman becomes a part of Babaji's group. So people's behaviors are like, people can view their behaviors or their belief systems like an arm. So if I said to you, okay, Marilyn, you'll be really good, you'll be fine if you just cut off your arm, you're going to go, I don't think so. I like my arm. I think my arm is fine. I'm using that as an illustration where these belief systems can feel like an arm. So when I come up with a reading that tweaks people's belief system, that's an indication that that belief system or that whatever that is needs to go. But they're like, that's my belief system. I'm not letting go of that. I need that like when I do my right arm. Let them have it. But it's going to tweak them. It's going to, no matter how gentle you are, and this is the moon card, no matter how gentle you can come across with other people, they are still most likely going to take offense because they perceive that you're saying that they have to metaphorically cut off their right arm in their belief system. But that belief system, they don't even realize, is not serving them anymore. And so they're not allowing it in. So even if you, and you're very gentle and you can, but sometimes you have to be a little bit harsher to get across to people. So this Babaji is an illustration of telling this guy to go jump off a cliff. And the guy actually did it, right? He's like, no, at all costs, I want to be done with my old way of being, my old way of thinking, my old way. And you can't convince people. They have to choose for themselves. So this makes your job a lot easier. So allow those type of advanced people to come with you or come to you. Okay, Abby. Okay. So, Abby, just wait. Hanged Man. Just wait. It'll sort itself out. So, if you've ever used a gumball machine, Abby, and the gumball gets stuck, and you have to kind of shake the machine, or you've done this with like candy machines, right, or vending machines, where it gets stuck and you kick it or shake it, and sometimes you have to put in another 50 cents to get a candy bar behind it to push it out, so then you get 2 candy bars. Right now, you're going through a sorting period. And there's something coming down with the universe has a way of sorting things. Okay, let's do a coin, one of those coin machines at the grocery store where you dump all your loose change in. And you have to wait while the machine separates, pennies, quarters, nickels, dimes into, so you can put them in wrappers, right? That's what the universe is doing. So sometimes we want the coin machine to count faster. But at least you're not having to count it. there's something right now that you're sorting. When you go through spiritual growth, it takes sometimes days, like after the reading today, it takes sometimes days to process, sometimes weeks to process. The fact is, the good thing is, it doesn't matter how long it takes to process. It's the fact that it's processing. It's the fact, number one, that you found the coin machine. Number two, you have got the coins to dump in there. No matter how long it takes, you're going to get your money. It's going to be worth it. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then who's?
So, Diane.
Diane. Okay, Diane. And so that's a great message, Abby, for all of us. So thank you for pulling that, or higher self pulling that card. Just trust the universe as a coin machine, just like you would a coin machine. It's going to count it correctly. It's going to put it in the right slot. And you're going to get your money. It's going to be a payoff. Okay. All right, Diane. All right. Well, here's Guardian, which was the theme of the show. Who's with you? You make your own Garden of Eden. I don't know where I got Garden of Eden from Guardian, but that's what I'm hearing. You're not waiting for paradise. You're not waiting for the Garden of Eden. You do your part in making something right. Many religions teach, well, once you get to heaven, once you get to paradise, then everything's going to be fine. That takes the responsibility off that person that's in that religion or that belief system that, oh, well, see, I'm going to have to suffer until I get to heaven. This is you making your own Garden of Eden, and you make it up here. Like universe, show me the Garden of Eden now. Make my life a Garden of Eden now. And it's just appreciating the little things, and those little things then begin to grow. And again, going back to Abby's card, it's sorting it out. It takes a good long spring with the right soil, the right sunshine, the right fertilizer, the right everything to grow that seed. It's not going to happen overnight, but this is that Garden of Eden growing now. Create it now.
And then, yeah, Abby says she's patient, by the way. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Lindsay and Austin. Lindsay had a very good point about this. She said, her and you both giggle about the term. I'll let you read it.
So, okay, so Lindsay, I heard, I was just giggling about, I wasn't laughing at anything or anyone. I was just, I amused myself. It was just the ability of understanding, of a deeper understanding of, like when you get married, two becoming one. That's kind of an unusual term for somebody that's never been married before until they're married a few years. And then you begin, you say things in unison, you begin to think alike, that type of thing. So in the higher levels, it's a deeper understanding or an ability to communicate or have a higher view of how everything and everyone is connected. Okay? Yeah, so it's just a better understanding of an actual they, them. All right.
It's beautiful. Yeah, there's no separation, right?
Yeah, there's no separation. Okay. So, Lindsay, the card came up. So it's the Five of Swords. So this is where look back on who is with you, and when swords are a symbology of thoughts. And our thoughts are a huge mix of nature versus nurture, nature and nurture, where we're raised, how we're raised. I mean, teachers and environment, and there's so many things that create or help us create the thoughts that we have, or what our thoughts can be based on. So this is an indication of new thoughts coming in and letting go of any defeatist thoughts or any defeatist voices. And when you get a defeatist voice, and I don't mean a literal voice, but I mean like a defeatist thought, ask, whoa, whose voice is that? Who said that? Where did I learn that? Because many of our teachers don't have a full picture. And some, teachers can be parents, siblings, literal teachers. And many times they're standing at the elephant holding the leg, telling you that an elephant is only like a tree. This is you opening up to new thoughts, new areas of learning. And anywhere where you believe the next shoe is going to drop or fall, are you willing to let go of that now? Because that can even be ancestral. Coming down through generations. Or anywhere where there's been any people you've been around that believe life is unfair, be free of taking that on at all costs. That's not who you truly are. And so this is the this is cleaning up the battleground. So Jared and Kat are here. Are they on tonight, Jared and Kat? Okay.
They are. And she says that everyone's so different that, it's all good.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry to...
Okay. So I was talking about Jared and Kat, and then I was relating to Lindsay. So Jared made a really good point. We were talking, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and he goes like, pretty much all of Tennessee is a battleground.
From the Civil War.
What's that?
From the Civil War.
From the Civil War. Right, all of Tennessee is a battleground from the Civil War. Thanks for clarifying that, Kenan.
I was like, wait.
wait, what? There's war in Tennessee now? No, from the Civil War, right? So, but not going there now, you would necessarily never know it unless, of course, there's a monument or that type of thing. People that live there would know, but if you're a visitor, you wouldn't necessarily know. This is your ability to clear the battleground. Anywhere where you've experienced a battle in your life, mental, emotional, whatever. This is clearing the battleground. And again, it kind of going back to Diane's card about making your own Garden of Eden. That it doesn't come from the outside in, it comes from the inside out. That's why it's so important for us all to continue to work on ourselves. Okay, and then we've got Austin. All right, Austin. Ooh. Nice. Fortune card. It literally means fortune. But really knowing how fortunate you are. Absolutely sending you these amazing blessings to know how fortunate you are to even be here on this planet at this time. And I'm speaking to everybody on the show with this one. But one thing that will help, Austin, is they're showing me tuning forks, and you can order these on Amazon. And you can read about them on your own. The benefit of its frequency and its vibration. So let me address ringing in the ear. There's, at one time or another, we've all experienced some kind of odd, like ringing in the ear that lasts for a few seconds. I've explained this on the show before, but I'll explain it again. Older computers, when it was downloading a new program, it would have this really like high-pitched wee, and you'd have to allow time for it to download, even though you didn't really know what exactly it was downloading. And I know I'm speaking to a computer guy here, but you get my drift. Is many times these downloads that come in the form of a high pitch, and again, sometimes it's dizziness, a lightheadedness, kind of a low energy, is that can be these downloads. And the reason I'm getting this with you is it's called ForTune. Sorry, it's my brain how it works, but I'm seeing ForTune is you're getting tuned up. Every grand piano, we all need tuned up. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you or that you're bad. We all get a little worn. We all get a little, we need a revival. We need a tune-up. Your car needs a tune-up. Oil change. This is, use your money right now to tune up, to take care of yourself, do some downtime, and think about getting some of these tuning forks. They're really amazing. Okay. Hey, John. Oh. So the Tower card is a complete and total restructuring. And John, if you do you have a pen and paper, or I can text you this. So people think that a lot of times when this Tower card comes up, it's a destruction of an old way of being, a relationship, whatever, and that it's going to be hard and tough. Well, not necessarily so. You know, if you're renovating your house, you can go to get a really comfortable motel room, hire people to come in and renovate your house. It's no big deal. So this is where, John, are you willing to easily and comfortably release, clear, destroy, and uncreate anything that is no longer serving you to your best and highest? And when this Tower card comes up, it can be like an agitation. It can feel like an agitation. My teachers, sometimes I go for a session, I would be really annoyed, really agitated, and they would start laughing. And then I would get really annoyed, really agitated. I go, why are you laughing? Are you laughing at me? Why are you laughing? Then they would start applauding. I would like, what is going on? And they go, oh, you're dissipating structure. You're growing. So that dissipation of structure, that term came from Prigogine, a physicist who went to South America. He studied these brown beetles that lived on a brown log. And when you hit the log, the beetles would be chaos, frustration, anger. I don't know if beetles get angry, but okay. You get my drift. They're like, it causes chaos, right? A swarm of beetles, seemingly without purpose, but then they re-land on flowers and leaves. Well, this Prigogine found that they then turned the color of the flower or turned the color of the leaf that they landed on. This is the theory of dissipative structure, where there's chaos and then there's a restructuring. Chaos, restructuring. And every time the chaos happens, you become less and less reactive to it, or less and less resistant of it. And so when you try to resist the tower, then it gets a little rough. But this is trusting that, because what follows the tower is new beginning. All right, Mindy, here we go. Take some time off, spend with the kiddos. Motherhood card. Do a girls' night with Alex and the girls. Maybe with Auntie Edna. And just do a girls' night. Maybe it's staying home, cooking dinner, doing a game night. Plan a girls' night. Okay? All right. And then we've got...
Oh, so you got Johnson, Mindy's next.
No, I did Mindy just now.
Laurel.
So now I've got Laurel.
Yeah.
Hey, Laurel.
Sorry, I was Googling Prigogine.
Peace. They're showing me, Laurel, a beach, like with two docks, or not docks, but they're like piers, or maybe they're, I don't know what they are. They're like, I don't know if it's between a jetty or they're jetties or they're poles that are in the water, but they're quite distant apart. But you're on the beach. This is making more money in order to either, or having more money to buy a place on the beach. This is the beach. I keep getting, you're moving to the beach or you're being able to spend more time there. And it really feels like you know this place. It's a beach with two poles out in the water that are far apart. I don't know what this is, but this is like more peace coming into your life and telling the universe, telling your guides, telling who's with you, give me more peace. And then noticing what causes disturbance. So when you're not at peace, go, hey, wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Show me what is causing me this unrest and bring peace back and clear this unrest. Clear it now. Clear it. If you go to a restaurant and they serve you the wrong thing or they serve you cold, you send it back. This is standing up with a little more aggression. This is like standing up for you and I don't want to seem insensitive. I don't want to make the waitress work harder. No. This is like you can be nice and go, "Hey, my food is cold. This is the wrong order, whatever." And get what you want. And it's coming. Like it's definitely, and I get like really clear water, like and it's ocean. It's really clear, pristine. It looks like Caribbean or Hawaii or I don't get that it's Texas. Okay. Hey, Kat and Jared. Well, okay, Jared, you got the Sun card. Okay, number one, number two, number one. Number one, Jared. Spend a couple of hours with your son. Remind him what he's good at. Remind him what you love about him. Keep telling him I think it's Xavier, yeah. Tell remind him of what you see in him, the strengths that you see in him. Kat, remind him. I know you do with all of your kids, but so the Sun card, I'll remind you all, if you haven't been on the show, The Sun card is one of the highest cards in the deck, if not the highest card, for blessings, for things working out for you progressing, for you moving forward. So Jared, thank you for pulling this card, but it is actually for everybody on the show. It's very strong. So I've learned not to drive at sunrise or sunset, and drive if I'm, sunrise. I learn not to drive east when it's sunrise. I learn not to drive west when it's sunset because it's blinding. So going back to Abby's card and the hangman is just wait. It's just a few minute window and the sun has risen and it's not in your eyes. Be free of being overwhelmed at all the good things. I know this sounds ridiculous. But for instance, you've all read where people won the lottery and within days or weeks it's literally gone because it's just overwhelming. People don't know what to do with it. They've never handled money before. Oh, it's just too much. It's like they're blinded by this light, if you get my drift. This is just being patient. You might call Abby. She's very patient. But waiting for it and letting the universe kind of sort things out rather than trying to force it. Listen, the sun is coming up for you. If you wake up at 3 a.m. and sit there going, okay, it's 3:01, sun come up. 3:02, sun come up. 3:03, sun come up. 3:04, sun come up. It's not coming up. It's coming up. I think you got my drift there. It's coming up. Be patient. And then Kat. Anywhere where you've taken on the voice that life has to be a certain way for a woman, for a married couple, for a career, anywhere where you've taken on a different voice in your head from your family, church, politics, whatever. This is losing that. This is the rebellion card. This is the devil card, which it's not really the devil, but it symbolizes breaking the rules. So my cousin Lana is on the show. And Lana, so my aunt, her mother, was the first real estate woman, the first woman to get a real estate license in the state of Idaho. She broke the rules. First woman. Now it's like, I would assume there's probably more women in real estate than men. I don't know. I haven't looked that up, so don't quote me on that. But my point is that it set a standard, it set a new standard for women everywhere when my aunt got her real estate license. This is you breaking the rules and really having more fun. It's the constructs of religion and family that you're going to be breaking through, especially in the next few months. And you'll be way happier. Life will feel more like play. every day, not just every third Thursday of leap year. Okay? You get my drift. Okay. All right. So, okay, Lanny. Woo, woo. Get ready for a ride, girlfriend. Unbound, multiverse. All right. Anywhere where you've had concepts of God, universe, how things are, how things should be, are you willing to expand that a little bit? For instance, you want to go out to eat with Mark and the family. And there's only a limited amount of restaurants in Sandpoint. But what if you went to Spokane? Ooh. But most people don't think of going to Spokane for dinner, or even Coeur d'Alene, even though it's not that far away. It's that kind of a thing where this multiverse, anything can, miraculous healings. So Deepak Chopra, in his, I think his first book was called Dr. Deepak Chopra. He was an oncologist. He was a cancer specialist. And it's called, I think it's called Perfect Health. It was written 30, 40 years ago, a long time ago. Amazing book. He talks about a woman that came to him and he examined her. She was full of cancer, literally only had weeks to live. And he went and told the family. He goes, she go, no, 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 no. Whatever you do, do not tell her she has cancer. So Chopra went, okay. So he went back and he told the woman, well, you have gallstones. Because she did have gallstones. He wasn't lying to her. So he gave her a gallstone diet and just said, you know, bye. A year later, she comes back to him. And so he pulls her chart and he's looking at her chart and he's like, what? What? And he remembers this woman. And so he gives her an exam and there's no cancer. Absolutely no cancer. Not a trace of it. He goes, so what are you doing here today? What do you want? How would what would you like? She goes, well, she said, when I was here last year, I thought I had cancer. And then when you told me I had gallstones, I was like, I just got on the diet and did the gallstone diet, and I feel really, really good. That's what got him. That was one of the things that got him into the mind-body medicine. Because a lot of our society's trained, the I can't think of the word, but in the medical practices today, it's one way of thinking. But then this taught him, wait, there really might be something else to this mind-body multiverse thing, where anything can and does happen. And there have been many, many instances that are miraculous. So this is being prepared, or not being prepared. It's just, I'm going to speak to everybody on the show, Lana, because you're one of the last people on. We've got Girly Pop. Everybody welcome Girly Pop. Anything can and does and will happen. Anything. This is the multiverse. This is the unbound. Unbound. Yeah, really good. Okay, and so you'll be having more experiences with that. Okay,
They've actually been on the show before. I was just going to say if we had extra time.
okay, Danielle.
Yeah, Daniel.
Okay, hi Danielle. Hi Danielle. Thanks for being here. Okay, so we've talked about this, I think, on the show before, or a couple of times. There's two things here with the magician card. It's transmutation. There are those that think they've gone through transmutation. You know, they go to a seminar with 30,000 other people, or they go to a religious event and they walk away, I'm saved. But then the next 3 days they go out and blow their entire paycheck on gambling or whatever. Or they go home, scream at their wife. Their wife screams at the kid. The kid goes out and kicks the dog. It's that type of thing where moving beyond thinking you've got it, or this is like devoting to full transmutation. Like it's not. It's going through the process. It's not just sometimes it can be one time and there's a full transformation, but it's mostly over a period of time, because the brain, this is dedicating to expanding your brain. That's why I loved going to college. It wasn't so much about what I learned, but it was the journey of the process of learning. And that expanded my mind. Like Lana, every day going and doing the books for somebody else or doing your real estate and being able to speak about different properties in different ways to different people. Same with John, same with anybody on the show, Laurel, with speaking with customers, or it's using the brain. So that will help with your transmutation, is taking a class, going to an expanded way of learning. That's what's going to happen for you this year. It's not just sleight of hand. It's actual magic. That's what transmutation is. And do we have everybody?
Beautiful. Yeah, that's everybody.
Awesome. All right. Tonight's Sunday. Hey, let's do this again tomorrow night, Monday night. Love you all. Have a great night.